And it's NFL Week 3, and that means it's time to pick this week's winners and picking the brains of sports anchors across the country for their expertise on all things NFL. This week, we're in Pittsburgh with sports anchor Bob Pompeani. How's it going over there in Pitt, Bob?
Katie, it's a beautiful day. I mean, we've had like 9 straight days of sunshine, so it's good to talk to Miss Sunshine down there in Texas.
And hopefully it stays that way this week, but I guess it won't matter so much for the Steelers because they're on the road. And let's get into it because we are going to talk about the Steelers in just a little bit, but right now we're going to talk about a different team. We're picking 4 games this week. Bob, there's so much to talk about in the league this week in the NFL. We're going to jump right in with the picks, starting with the Jets at the Patriots. Who do you pick to win here, and can I ask you by how much?
Yes, I think that's the second part of that is more pertinent. You know, the Jets are about to go 0-3 with Le'Veon Bell, who left Pittsburgh to try to get more money. That didn't happen. He left Pittsburgh because he said he wanted to be on a team that maybe could win. That's not happening. So I would expect the Patriots, who have been just a machine, 15 or 33-3 over the Steelers, and then 43-0 over the Dolphins. I would expect something similar. Maybe not that wild, but I would say New England should win this one, something like 31-6.
It's a pretty deep spread, and I can only imagine that these next 2 prolific offenses are also going to have maybe a high-scoring week as well. We're talking about, of course, the Baltimore Ravens playing at Arrowhead against the Kansas City Chiefs. Both Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, they're hot this season. So who's going to come out on top in this one?
That's a great one. You know, while the other game has Luke Falk as the quarterback, you got 2 of the best going at it right here. And this is a marquee game of the weekend to me, Katie. You got Baltimore, and John Harbaugh has completely revamped what they do to centerpiece on Lamar Jackson. I think he has proved a lot of people wrong that, yes, he can throw the ball from the pocket. 7 touchdowns in 2 weeks so far. But he's also showed you, more so last week, that he can still put it away and run with the best of them. So it's a really difficult game plan if you're a defensive coordinator to try to stop them. But you got Pat Mahomes, who at 24 has done so many remarkable things. What I love about him is his ability to just go to work happy every day, and he tries to get better. And you wonder how far that can take him. So this should be a wonderful game to watch. I do expect the Chiefs to win. But I think it'll be a high-scoring affair, and I would expect to see both of those guys have big days. So I'm saying that it's going to be Kansas City 35, Baltimore 29.
A close matchup, close game there. And up next, we got to talk about the Detroit Lions. They're in Philadelphia this week to face the Eagles. What's your prediction on this matchup?
Disappointing game for the Eagles the other night. Carson Wentz just willed himself to, I thought, a win, and then all of a sudden a 4th and 3 turns into a 54-yard touchdown for Julio Jones. That's how quickly that team can strike. I would expect the Eagles to rebound big in this one. Detroit's okay, coming off a nice game where they pulled one out, but I like the Eagles, especially after what happened on Monday night. Something in the order of 31-14.
Bob, I can't talk to you without talking about the Pittsburgh team because the hometown team is out of town this week across the country to face the San Francisco 49ers. Big Ben, though, he's out for the Steelers, so can Pitt still pull out a win?
Well, it's going to take all hands on deck, as Mike Tomlin likes to say, Katie, because you're right. Ben Roethlisberger's been there for 16 straight years. He's never had a losing season. He's been the centerpiece of their offense, and now he's gone suddenly. But that's why they invested in Mason Rudolph. I'm really surprised, and if I'm a San Francisco fan, encouraged by the 49ers, what they've been able to do. Jimmy Garoppolo, after a real bad, I thought, preseason, has turned it on. Their run game is spectacular. You know, they have the one thing that's given the Steelers problems time and time again. That's a tight end over the middle. We saw it last week in Seattle, where Disley got behind Devin Bush twice, and he's nowhere near what George Kittle's is, coming off 88 catches over 1,300 yards. I expect that to be something San Francisco tries to attack. But I think I'm going with a desperate team here. The Steelers are desperate. They got to win, I would think. You would, from here, hope they get back on track. It's going to take a big effort, and I think they'll squeeze one out. 17-16, it may not be, one of those games that you look back and say, wow, that was just so wonderful to watch. It could be ugly, it could be boring, but for them, they just need to get a win, and I think they will.
Well, thank you so much, as always, Bob Pompeani, for joining us out of Pittsburgh this week. That's your NFL Week 3 picks. More picks to come from anchors, of course, all over the country as the NFL season progresses. I'm Katie Johnston for CBS Local Sports.